Hello, everyone. Welcome to Money, Sex, and God. It's been a few weeks. I miss you guys. It's great to see all of you again. As you're popping in, either live or on the replay, give us a hashtag replay or tell us where you're watching from. My name's Genevieve. I'm an erotic embodiment coach and speaker here to help us transcend and integrate the shadows of our sexuality to find true freedom in life, in business, in relationships, and bliss. And today we have a very special guest for our Money, Sex, and Guide. This is the first time I've ever done this. Someone that I've worked with, a client of mine, has so kindly and generously asked to come on and be a shining example and a light for what's possible in this work. And her story is profound and beautiful, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear her. So I'll be bringing her on in a second. In the meantime, we have tons of events happening. So I want to make sure that you know all about them. And after this video, I will post all the links. First of all, if you're in New York City, I'll see you tomorrow night at Erotic Embodiment Ecstatic Dance Practice. We do it every couple months with Ecstatic Dance. Thank you, Ecstatic Dance, for bringing sexuality into the work. Tomorrow we're going to be moving through the shadows of our sexuality and how to find the freedom and the flow again. Super excited. The playlist is dope. And then November 25th, which is in a few weeks, we have an online event. This is for everyone. And online, it's going to be an event called Fuck Me Open to God. I named it that because over the past couple of months, a bunch of my clients have been saying that that's what they truly want, to be fucked open to God. So they're just using their languaging. That event is on the 25th. It's an interactive online experience. I recommend being somewhere private where you can really be with me. We already have close to 60 people signed up. It's going to be a huge sexual reclamation experience, 2 p.m. on Eastern on the 25th. And then we have another event in New York City on December 7th called Alpha Femme. This is all about topping the strong, powerful modern woman. And if you are that woman, how to open into surrender and grace and love. I'm doing this with my co-host, Michael Bates, who's incredible in New York City. I will be posting a link for that on Friday. So lots of things going on. Oh my God, I almost forgot. We also have a group course that's starting in December. We have 4 spots left for that. It's called Warrior Women. And it's going to be super hot. This is for strong, powerful women that are struggling with finding ease, flow, and love in their lives. It's really beautiful if you want to go straight into embodiment practices to open fully. And the women that are already in there are out of control. So if you want to get in there, I'll post the link. There's also a link that when you see the link, you can also click to talk to me about it if there's concerns about it. But we start December 9th. I don't know how many spots I have to actually engage with you one-on-one. So hopefully you guys can get in if you want to talk. And if not, just click the link and join us. Super excited. All right, I see my client here. So let me just introduce her one more time. This is someone that I started working with, and her transformation has been absolutely incredible. Her name is Bess, and we just want to say super thank you. If you're on watching, please give her a thank you for sharing her beautiful story. So let me go ahead and bring her in. Yeah, give her a thank you. Let's give her some love for being willing to come on so powerfully. Hey, Bess.
Hey, yay.
Yay. Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure, yes.
This is so, just what you're doing for this community to be able to show what is possible and to be able to show that, they're going to hear your story in a second, but it's just such a service. So thank you for showing up in service this afternoon and giving people a little bit of you, a little bit of your heart. So let's get into our bodies first. Your blueprint shifted like 15 times. So where are you at now? What's your primary now?
My primary is kinky right now, which is amazing, and I love it.
So is it
So
are we on the dominant or the submissive end of kinky, or are you switching?
I'm switching, so
What are you
yeah.
feeling? Well, actually, let's switch. Let's do a switch. Okay, so go ahead and
Okay.
close your eyes. And if you guys are watching, you guys can join us. This is an embodiment practice just to get Bess and I into our bodies before we start rattling off at you. So go ahead and close your eyes. We'll start with the submissive. So as you breathe, seeing if you can make your body smaller, either by curling in towards yourself, softening around your shoulders and your spine, finding the place in you that either wants to serve or be small. Good. And then bringing some physical to this by taking one hand into the other wrist and pulling. Give yourself that sense of constriction. And then the other hand and pulling. And then wrapping both hands around your shoulders and just constricting your body even more. As you do this, you can bring in fantasy, if desired, of a dominant person in front of you, of someone telling you what to do. Great. And then beginning to bring the sensation of scratching along your body. You can do your neck or your hands. Good. And then shifting into dominance. Oh, wait, before we do that, I really want to take your hand, place it around your neck, and press upward and right at the jawline. And feeling that constriction and that stillness, that surrender. Great. And then beginning to find the dominance in you, beginning by finding where it lives in your body. It could be the belly, it could be the pussy, it could be the heart, it could be the legs. And as you breathe with each breath, see if you can make that part of you bigger. The part of you that wants to own, control, the part of you that feels empowered and strong, stable, grounded. Good. Keep filling that up with each breath. Can you bring it even more through your body? And then beginning the fantasy of bringing people into your space, there to serve you, there to witness you in your power. Really embodying this by maybe opening the chest or leaning back. And finding the deep surrender and love in your dominance. Breathing this in even more just to solidify it. Good. When you're ready, we can open our eyes. And those of you that are watching, type in some body reveals. My body feels tingly, like hot lava moving through my body, this part of my body, and then cold on my extremities, and lots of tingles. And it feels like my pussy is like coming all the way up to my neck. It's like this big V that I can feel. Give me some body reveals for you. What are you feeling in this moment?
Yeah, so right now I felt like a rush of heat come up into me, and like my armpits are all sweaty right now. And there's like an excitement that I feel kind of like up along the back of my spine.
Beautiful. Great.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. All right. So thank you again for coming on and sharing your story of our work together. I forgot where you were beforehand. So I just went through our notes and I was like, no way. Like crazy. So can we start there? What was sexuality to you? What was intimacy? What was your body, your relationship to your body? Just give us the story at the beginning.
Yeah. So before I worked with Genevieve, I had just moved back to the United States, and I'd gotten dumped for the first time in my life, and I was like, oh, it was a horrible blow to my ego. And I just took about a year to just start my own business, do my own thing. I didn't date at all, like nothing, which is very strange for me. And about a year into that, I started feeling like, ooh, I think I'm maybe ready for a partner or at least some love in my life again. And I started working with my friend who does some sexuality stuff, and I had all these blocks coming up, numbness, very numb in my body, especially my pussy. Like I could not have an orgasm the way that I had before.
And it
It took a lot of work.
was that in your self-pleasure practice where you were feeling the numbness? So you were trying and
Yeah,
then it wasn't
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I was caught in my head. I had all these thoughts swirling around, like, oh, I'm gonna be single forever.
Mm,
Just not feeling good enough. I didn't feel sexy whatsoever. It was like,
mm,
why am I even trying to masturbate? I was like, ugh. It was just, it was yucky.
mm,
Um, and I knew I needed something. I didn't know what. I was looking around like, where do I even go when I don't know what I want? So it was
mm.
very, yeah, just numb, confused.
And that, can I ask a question about the self-pleasure? Because I
Mhm,
think watching are gonna relate to that. Um, what, so you mentioned like the being in your head and the thoughts and the not good enough. How was that, or how do you assume that was affecting your life outside of sex? What was it
yeah.
doing?
I had started my own business and I knew that me not being in my sexual energy and not feeling confident in it, I
Mm,
knew that that was affecting my business because like I've worked with a business coach and all the different things that we've gone through. I'm like, I know that this is an issue and I could see it kind of coming up in asking for what I needed within my business with my clients, like asking for money to get paid for what I do,
mm,
and to really find my creativity in expressing myself through my business. So it felt more mechanical and like this is what other people have done, so I'm going to do it. It
mm,
wasn't me, right?
mm,
I didn't feel like, this is my baby, like I wanted to feel that way.
mm. Thank you.
So,
And
yeah.
the not being able to orgasm, did that start kind of once, did you kind of shut down after your heartbreak and then your
Hmm.
sex shut down as well, right?
Yeah.
So because before that you were able to have sex and it was fine. Okay.
Yeah. I've always been a very sexual person
Okay.
since I was very young. And so I was like, ooh, something is not right.
And can you take us into like a moment where you realized that? Like, I don't know if you have like a memory of or a moment where you're like, fuck, because we would love to hear that.
Yeah, I remember trying to like find some sensuality with myself. So like I took a bath, I had like read something kind of erotic and I thought like, yeah, I'm gonna get into this. Lit some candles. I'm like in my bedroom naked and I had my vibrator out and I'm like, okay, like trying to touch myself and I'm like, oh, this feels so weird. And I'm like, I'll
Mm,
just use the vibrator, and I'm like, I'm sitting there and in my brain it's like, you're not gonna come. You're not gonna come.
wow.
It's just not gonna happen. And I'm like, and I just flopped on the bed, like, fine, whatever. Like, I'll read a book and go to bed.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. I can feel the emotion in that just that frustration
Yeah.
with yourself. I mean, I'm gonna imagine it probably felt kind of broken or like there's something just
Hmm.
not, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that thinking about getting into future relationships, how was that affecting your ability to go out and date or talk to people?
I just wasn't.
Mm,
Like, and I've, sounds a little weird, but I've always like attracted people in to me. And for the first time in my life, like, that was not happening at all. I had no attraction, no like pull, and I was okay with it. Like part of me was okay with it, and the other part of me was like, "Ah, this is not okay." That's
mm,
like part of who I am.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And so it sounds like it was really isolating and lonely and just feelings of like brokenness. Did you think that
Yeah.
you were going to be able to find your orgasm again, or did you have these feelings of like this might be it? Like what was your
Yeah.
what was your thought process around it?
I thought like maybe I'll never like enjoy this again.
Mm.
I'd heard of other women and just people like, oh, your sex drive kind of dies off, especially in relationships. And I thought, well, maybe that's true with my relationship to myself as well. And
Mm.
like maybe I'm not that sexual of a person anymore. And like, what does that mean for me? And but I kind of knew deep down, like, no, that's not true. Like, this is
Right.
something, there's something there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
I think you painted a pretty, my heart is like sinking. Like that's so sad. And I also know that there are, dozens of hundreds of thousands of people that are in the same, that are like, oops, it doesn't work. I tried the vibrator. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm broken and I'm done. And then what a lot of people do is they go and they focus on something else, right? They just
Hmm.
try to ignore it, right?
Yeah, I poured my focus, all of my energy into my business, which honestly was amazing, and I don't regret that time at all. I had my creative flow going elsewhere, and in turn, it was very successful
Yeah.
at that time, and so, but it wasn't me, right? What I really wanted.
So it was like this external thing that you could busy yourself with rather than
Yeah,
something in alignment with who you were. What would
yeah,
it have been like had you been in alignment? I mean, I just wonder, like, have you ever thought about what that launch probably would have been like?
yeah. I'm like, well, because I was working in nutrition, that's what my background is in, and I love it. But now I'm like, how can I combine, sexuality and nutrition? And I think about just like being the big that I am. Like, I want to be
Mm.
big in all the areas instead of like trying to stay small and controlled. And yeah, it just, I think it would be more expansive
Why do you think
now.
you were trying to stay small and controlled?
It felt safe.
Mm.
Yeah. And it was new to me, so I thought like, oh, I'll start like smaller and eventually it'll be what I really want it to be instead of starting where I really wanted it to be.
Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I hear that a lot. And thank you. Oh, it
Yeah.
sounds frustrating. It sounds like that was a hard
Yeah.
time. I'm glad that you didn't sit in it for that long, right? That
Yeah.
you were able to realize that there was it's so clear to me that sexuality, just as everyone, but sexuality is so your essence, right? Like you're so erotically
Yes.
in. And so to lose it and to be like, I don't know who I am, where I am, must have been absolutely terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I remember we started working together, and one of your goals was to have a lover or something. This always cracks me up. So tell them what happened.
Well, so I think it's interesting. The way I found out about you is that my former partner had sent me a message like, "Hey, you need to check out this woman, you,
Okay.
and like here's a link to a video." And I did, because he knows me really well. I thought, okay, like if he's recommending this, I hadn't told him any of my issues, but like,
But they can
okay.
feel it, right? Like you
So,
can feel it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Hmm.
Um, Wait, what was your question again? I got
What
sidetracked.
was my question? My question was, I was in your story. Um, where were we going? My question was, I'm searching for it. I think, what happened? Remember your goal, the beginning, your first goal was love. You wanted a lover. You didn't want to feel alone. I remember how alone you felt on that first call.
Yeah,
So what happened this was quick, right? This happened pretty quickly, like within a month or two. Yeah.
yeah. So I had started online dating because I thought I don't know how to meet people. I was living in a small town at the time, and there's a lot of married folks and elderly, and it's like, okay, I don't know what to do. So like this is what people do nowadays. So I thought I'll online date, um, and so I was just attracting in so many amazing people and going on dates. And I went on a little trip to Colorado and I met someone there and like ended up having several days of like amazing sex. And I was like, oh my gosh. Um, and then I came back and I had met someone online and we'd been talking for a while, and then ended up meeting up with him, and like the moment we saw each other it was like, whoo.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself, oh shit. And apparently he felt the same way.
Mm,
um yeah, so we've been dating almost 6 months now,
yeah.
and I actually just moved in with him
Oh my
last
God,
weekend.
congrats.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
remember the email. So this was maybe like a month and a half in. One of the things I have to say about you too, and I think you know this about yourself, but you really take the information and take the tools and you utilize them, right? Which is why
Yeah.
you had such a rapid transformation. You did it very, very quickly. And the rest of our
Hmm.
sessions, I feel like we just played in. We can talk about that later. But, very quickly you transformed this. And I remember that email and just thinking like, yeah, like they found it again, right? Like she's in it again. What do you think attracted, like what was the piece that started to attract these people into your arena?
Yeah, well, I started with my daily self-pleasure, huge, and doing it in my blueprint at the time was so amazing for me. I always thought, okay, like masturbation like is just like, wham bam, get it done, fast food style, like okay, knocked it out. And I was taking, when I first started, I think it was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I was sliding into like hours a day of just energetically making love to myself, and I just like my whole body just opened and like wow, and I was just radiating out like energy, love, like attraction, and I just, all the people in my sphere are like, wow, Bess, like what changed? Like you're hot.
Yeah, totally.
I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. And to be an energetic, right? Like the shadow of the energetic is overwhelm, right? To
Hmm.
be the in the overwhelm instead, right? And then to learn to feed her and become this like light being must have
Yeah.
been huge.
Yeah.
So exciting. What
Yes.
else started to happen in your life? So you brought in the partners, your self pleasure was amazing. Anything else
Yeah.
happen as a result of those things?
Just my confidence in myself just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Um, I've been a pretty confident person, but it was like a more outward thing now.
Mhm.
Um, and just feeling alive, like I have more energy from day to day. And not that it doesn't ebb and flow, it definitely still does, but I feel more into my sexual being, which again is so important to me. And I've known that. And so coming back to it, it's like, ah, yes. Like, okay, everything else that happens in my life now, I'm like, okay, but like I've got this solid core of me. I'm like, all
Mm.
right, I can handle this. I can move through it. And um, continuing with my self-pleasure practice has been so hugely transformational. And even though like we're not working together anymore, like I keep up with that and it changes
Yeah.
like a lot. I moved through a whole sensual phase that was
Yes.
so yummy and delicious, and that like led me into kink, like more and more and more kink. I'm like, wow, oh my God, it's so good. Ah. And so I also I date other people.
Mhm.
We're in a polyamorous relationship,
Mhm.
and so being able to connect with other lovers and like partners and people to play with has been so hugely rewarding. I've been able to let go a lot of guilt from years of, trying to be with one person and cheating on them and feeling ashamed, and but really wanting to, like, I'm a huge flirt and I love to connect with people. I just do. It's what I do.
Mhm.
And so now I feel like that part of me is like, yes, it's accepted. I can do this. And it feels amazing.
It feels like you're going to be a shapeshifter soon, Bess.
Hmm.
Like it feels
Yeah,
like you're expanding there. So that's
yeah.
amazing. um, can you take us to like one of the big needle movers or big moments in the work that felt like it was like take us into the memory in the moment where you had the biggest shift that you or whatever comes to mind. But I think they'd like to hear
Yeah,
like what is it that we actually do in the session
yeah,
to wake you up so much. So yeah.
yeah. So number one definitely was my self-pleasure practice, and being consistent with it, which was challenging at first to like make the time and actually drop into it. But once I started doing it, like I can't wait for it every day. I'm like, oh, yay! Um, so just spending that time with myself and loving on myself the way that I wanted a lover to, because
Yes.
that was something that you and I worked on was that, okay, I wanted to feel held the way that a lover holds me. And I remember you telling me, well, you can do that for yourself, Bess. And so we did, we did that together, and I felt that, and I can recreate that whenever I want it or need it. That feeling of hands behind my heart just like holding me, and it's like, yes, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
And this realization that I don't need a partner was very freeing, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, I'm
so
attracting a lot of people into my sphere right now that say they want lovers or want partners. And this is the biggest needle mover for calling in a deep connected partnership is to recognize that you don't need one,
mhm,
right? All of the
yeah,
calling out and trying to attract and it doesn't work. That shift is what brought in your love. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like anytime I do get to connect with another person, it's like the sprinkles on top of the cherry on top of the whipped cream. It's like, oh, because I already have like this amazing sexual relationship with myself, and
Right.
yeah, it's one thing to like think about that and think like, oh, I could have that. It's another to embrace those parts that were so needing and wanting a partner and hold those for myself in the most loving, beautiful way.
Mm.
And to talk to myself the way that I want a lover to has been like, wow, I
Mm.
didn't know I could do that. And that it would feel so loving and, yeah, just rich.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. So easy, easy peasy. Um, hmm I know a lot
I
of.
would have,
Go ahead.
I was going to say another like big needle mover
Yeah.
for me was we did a session, it was like a group session with Chris
Yeah, Chris
Bale.
Bale. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I had never had the energy running through me like that.
Uh-huh.
And to have someone there like holding it for me, um, like it blew my mind like in the best way possible. And now like that's my practice. I shake and I move and I like convulse around. Like it was from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working on someone a few weeks ago and she was like, I feel like I so don't look sexy right now. She's like screaming and moaning and shaking. And I'm like, that's actually what sexy is. Like we just have these conditioned responses against it, right? But
Yeah.
to allow that to
Yeah.
start to move through you. And once that happened, right? Once, because that's your Kundalini energy, once that started to move through you, what that energy does is it clears away anything that's not you, right? So what did it
Mhm.
start to clear away and what happened in its place?
Yeah. So, a few relationships in my life kind of
Awesome.
it's okay, those are gone. And to be honest, like my business,
Yeah.
um, which was heartbreaking for me to let go of. that I had put all of this time and energy and money into creating this what I thought was a thriving business, and to feel suddenly there was a no
Mm.
to that, a big no. And I was coming in and I was trying to put in work each day. Like I was only doing my business and I like, oh, it felt so icky, and I would find myself daydreaming and drawing pictures and doing anything I could besides the work,
Wow.
right? And I had to really take a look at myself and why I was forcing myself to do this every day when it wasn't feeling right. Because
Mm.
in my pleasure practice, I wouldn't do that, right? And that everything is my pleasure practice. So, like, okay, what would it look like for me to just to let go? And so I did, and I let go. This was after fighting it for about a month and a half, and okay, I let go. I'm not going to keep trying and doing
Yeah.
and it felt very freeing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I thought, where's my money gonna come from? Oh my God. And then, like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like I have a way of sorting things out.
Mm.
So yeah,
That's
I'm
beautiful. Mm.
yeah, I'm kind of transitioning now, and it's it's scary, and it's also like I just have so much faith in the future that I'm not like, okay, what's next?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember in our first session you telling me how afraid you were of the unknown. I don't
Mhm.
remember that, but that was like one of your big sticking points of like, what's going to happen? And now you're like, whatever, right? Which is just that's the erotic essence, right? To trust in that energy that's not us, but is us, which is
Mhm.
stronger, right? And is all of us at once. That's the gift, right? That's the gift.
Yeah.
Anything else that feels on your mind or in your body to say? This is, think about the people watching are going to be people that might not even know they need this, kind of like how you were kind of in that space. Um,
Yeah.
and don't really know what the fuck I do. So, like, it's hard to describe. So, anything else that you can give them to give them some clarity would be appreciated.
Yeah. I think investing in yourself, whatever that means to you, is so hugely important as we move forward as adults, as spiritual beings, as, lovers, parents, entrepreneurs, whatever it is. Like taking that time, I know I felt kind of selfish and like, is this going to be worth the investment? Um, and part of me knew that was a yes, but it like, like, why am I investing in myself for this? And it paid off in ways that I can't even explain. So yeah, there's like the few points that were like, yeah, that was huge, but it's more the like small things day to day that, wow, like it is so valuable, and I'm so grateful that I was able to commit to myself to take the time to put in the work, because it's, yeah, I mean, it's changed my life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Like your
Yeah.
lives, all of you watching, they don't have to be the same. And Bess
Yeah.
is an example of that. And my story is super similar to yours. So, we pop open, and hopefully everyone else gets to lift up alongside us and with us. So, um,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on and sharing your beautiful
Yeah.
story. You guys that have watched, give
Thank
her
you.
some love. Share this. Just be friends with her because you'll want to know Bess because she's amazing. And whatever the hell she's going to do with her business next is going to be awesome. So go find her, love her. And yeah, thank you so much, Bess. I'm really,
Yeah,
really
thank you.
grateful that you came on and shared. How beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad this worked out today.
Me too. So
Yeah.
fun. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. We can
Yeah.
now go self pleasure again. Before this, we were like, do we have to put clothes on for the live? But spoken like a true client of mine, you're like, I guess I'll put on a shirt.
At least a shirt.
At least we'll wear a shirt. And you know what? I just before you go, I want to speak to one thing that I love is that you don't have to keep hiring me. And this is really important for coaches that and for people that are hiring coaches, that I want you to get, that the work that is offered by a coach should be one that transforms your life in a small period of time. It's a promise, right? And then that's it. Right? There shouldn't be like okay, now like for the next 10 years of your life, I am your guru. That is not what it is. It's literally,
Right.
here's where I am, here's where you are. Let's pop you here and then let you live your life in that, and go and sprinkle your pussy juice all over the place now, right? Because that's what I want ultimately. Right? So just wanted to say that note, that it's not about finding a sexual guru or a tantric guru to keep you on a path for decades. This is about like short, done, you are now back to yourself. Now you can take over the world. So hooray.
Yeah.
You did it. Nailed it. All right, guys, if you have any, can they talk to you if they have any questions, or
Oh,
is that
please. Yeah,
okay?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Bess Leader. I love talking about my experience, sex, like all the things. So,
Thank you so much for your openness and your light. And everyone who's watching, please say thank you to Bess. Give her what you learned from this, or what it brought up for you, so that we can feed her, because this is a really vulnerable, open conversation that she just gave you. So we want to feed her. So definitely come back and watch Bess. They'll be feeding you later. All right. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. Big love to you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
honey.